Welcome to IT on Top, where we pour you a cold one and dive into the latest in IT. I am Pieter, security engineer. What should I tell about myself, man? During the day, I work as a security engineer for a company. I work on incident response, and I work closely together with the infrastructure team to keep the company safe from threats.
Yeah, and that infrastructure team that is being berated by this guy, that would be me and my colleagues. I am Nick. I am M365 engineer, expert, whatever you want to call it. Architect. Sounds so nice. And yeah, I am one of Peter's colleagues, and we decided to get this podcast going. We're going to give you like some overview of some news facts that happened this month. It's quite skewed this month towards security. I don't know why. I think Peter had a hand in that, but we'll see. We'll get through it.
Let's just say I was excited to start this podcast. I think we both had the idea for quite some time now to do something besides work in IT. And starting a podcast, well, although there are already quite a few ones in there, we hope to deliver a unique perspective on our side. I think the cool thing here is we have both a different perspective on all the topics that are happening in IT, and the way we tackle them in the company might help some guys around the world.
Of course. And yeah, everybody wants to bash on security, so I will do the same, and you will be like, these infra guys, they don't know. They are always making problems. Yes. But okay, let's dive in, let's say. Our first topic is a quite important one, because Microsoft made a little boo-boo with Crowdstrike, and a lot of things happened.
Yeah, indeed,
the world kind of went down. So Peter, what happened?
It was quite interesting. It was one morning in I think somewhere the beginning of August, where I started receiving text messages from non-IT friends whose IT systems were down, and they were all sending me messages like, hey, what the hell is up with Crowdstrike? I didn't even know they even knew what an EDR was, and they were asking me, what the fuck is Crowdstrike? I don't know if I should swear on this, but okay, let's just go with it.
We'll see.
So the fact that people were messaging me about this thing, I already knew it was 7:30 in the morning. This will become a big thing. So looking into it, it looked like CrowdStrike sent out an update breaking Windows machines all over the world. So essentially what happened, it was not the update of the CrowdStrike agent itself, but it was a security, how did they call it? The security signatures were being updated. Basically, somebody found a way to bypass CrowdStrike defenses with a Cobalt Strike thingy or something like it, and CrowdStrike wanted to be very quick in response to that and provide an update to their Falcon sensor to find that malicious behavior, and by implementing that change, it triggered a whole chain of reactions resulting in a sys file that was being corrupted and ending in a blue screen of death.
So the only thing I hear is like security is at fault. It's not Microsoft. So I'm happy here. I'm happy. Tell me more.
I don't think Microsoft was really at fault here. But I do think from my personal point of view, it's a good thing this has happened, because we are all also from the security world looking with a skeptic eye to how are we pushing these updates on a daily basis. So apparently CrowdStrike doing these kind of updates 2-3 times a day, which makes sense. We pay a lot of money for these products to keep our system safe. So whenever an attacker finds a way to bypass our protections, we want to fill the gaps, right? We want to close the doors. We want to be secure, because that's what the companies pay for. So CrowdStrike, being very quick in finding these solutions, they created a kind of system where they test their detections with a software kind of testing mechanism. They just push their detection code. Let's say it's not really code, but just for the for easy sake. They push it through a software testing system. It all comes back fine, and they, without really pushing to a canary group, they just push it out to the whole world.
So we're gonna blame the testers here. Like test automation failed for Crowdstrike, and that's
You
why
could also
everybody
blame
went
the
down.
intern here. Lots of memes on interns that day too.
I bet.
But yeah, essentially, I think Crowdstrike dropped the ball there. But now they're on top of fixing it, right? And all the other vendors also got a kind of reality check, like, oh damn, okay, it's true, we are playing in the kernel level of computers.
Yeah.
We are really at the root of every system. If something goes wrong, the impact is gigantic. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I think with the evolution of security and rootkits coming and like this kind of stuff, you need to go that deep, because otherwise you are missing out and not having the
Exactly.
security you
Yes.
need.
There's a reason we went that deep. In the beginning, we just had normal antivirus products looking at signatures of files. Then attackers found out that it was actually pretty easy to change the signature of your file by just changing the name of a variable in your code or removing even a comment in your code. So we started looking at the behavior of files. And by looking at the behavior, you need to see what is a certain process really executing on your machine. What files is it trying to read? What kind of network connections is it trying to make? What kind of strings does it put in there everywhere? And in order to detect all those stuff, we need to kind of change the flow on how the Windows system works. So the EDR is really getting in between the instruction of the command and the execution of it. All this happened in the user land of a computer. So attackers were like, maybe let's go deeper and let's go to the kernel, because EDRs are hooking user land. But if we hook into the kernel level, we just bypass the whole system. So it's been done. Security systems kind of got onto it, and then they changed the product and they started to look into the kernel as well. It's always been a cat and mouse game, and that's what's been going on here for ages. So now I think EDRs were giving a free pass to do all this stuff freely, as long as they protected us. Now Crowdstrike, which by the way is the biggest vendor in the whole security world, they dropped the ball. So we will now enhance how it works, how they do their checks.
Do you think it will introduce a little bit more of maybe we should do some more proper testing? Because also, these security signature or these signature updates coming out, it's important, because you need that security, because you can be breached, and if they are late, or the faster they get it, the easier you are protected, or the faster you're protected. If they do it later, you will open you up to risks, right? So every second counts.
Every second counts. That's why they just push to production straight after a simple unit test, you might call it. Yeah. So now Crowdstrike is really, I hope, they're changing the way they test their security updates, which is a good thing. And what's also interesting, I think, when this happened, there was a lot of commotion at our company too. Like, we also have an EDR. Does our EDR have the same risk as Crowdstrike has? Well, of course it has. And I even heard a suggestion of maybe we should uninstall this agent from our crown jewels, from our core systems. What if this update breaks the whole world? How can we make sure that our company is still up and running?
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time not making jokes about the crown jewels and this kind of
And
stuff.
Crowdstrike, yeah.
But so those crown jewels, they're shiny, they're there, they're big, they're massive. You don't want your production to be impacted, but then again, do you want your production to be impacted by a hack, or do you want it to be impacted door the security?
Exactly. And I know stuff like this happens a few times, but not that much. I think the risk of getting breached, hacked, and put down that way is much higher than a faulty update from a security vendor.
Well, you're a security guy, right? You do our company's security. You know how many people are knocking at the door on a daily basis, and I think that frequency will be higher than, oh, there is a faulty update from the security tooling. Though we do like to really be like, everything that goes wrong, like, yeah, this is a security tool coming in between. That's just who we are as infra guys. But we also need to like have our scapegoats, and then it's security, you know? It cannot always be DNS.
Yeah, my second name is Scapegoat at the company. That is so true.
But talking about breaking stuff, like, it's not only security toolings. Microsoft also broke something this month.
True.
Yeah,
true,
so
very true.
Microsoft in their Patch Tuesday, well, it was a security update because it was Secure Boot, IPv6, and BitLocker, yes. So they pushed out a feature or a security update in the Patch Tuesday, and that made some waves. Even at our company, we had some reports. So it was a KB, and it actually spiked the CPU after installing, and it did some stuff that triggered your BitLocker. So you install the update, you go, and once you reboot, you get prompted for BitLocker, which is not fun because services will get a lot of calls, you know, like.
Yes, indeed.
And then, when that got we saw that in our Canary group at the company, and our Canary group is our testing. Sorry, like, got to be a little bit specific here. So
I don't know if that's the right wording, but I think Canary group, isn't it like universally?
It is, but yeah, word? I don't know what the audience here will be, you know.
So our Canary group is our testing group.
So the people that run our test when we have a patch cycle, we noticed some people having issues, and our services was getting calls, and they were already like, ooh. So they informed some people in the company, and then we already got some complaints like, yeah, do we really want to patch this? Like, it's gonna come, and do we want to put this in production like this? Microsoft was quite slow on the gun. I didn't see much communication coming out, only later in the month. So I don't think they were aware as much. They did have some remarks when it went to 22H2, so the Windows 22H2, but 23H2 would be fine. But we're also noticing it on 23H2. So
and Microsoft didn't notify you about it.
No, I didn't get any. I'm not in Microsoft's mailing list, you know. I'm not that important yet. Maybe later. Microsoft, please,
if you're listening,
at me. But yeah, so then the thing comes again, right? Do you want to be secure in what you are doing and have that latest security patch, even though we are running already like behind, because you don't want to patch immediately? On Patch Tuesday, not as much, of course, but we are running behind a little bit to see, like, aren't there any faulty patches? But now there was.
What I think here is it's an interesting conversation, because we've been talking about patch management the last few months at the company now, and one of the things from the infrastructure team was that we do not want to deploy the latest patch right away. We will always have a delay of 30 days because of these breaking updates. which makes total sense. I get it. You don't want these blue screens of that everywhere, because then the impact of having that in the company is much higher than being at risk with a vulnerability that has just been found, which I get. But there is a distinction between a normal update that you want to push on a monthly basis and a severe vulnerability that has been found. And I think in this case, what they patched, I'm not sure, don't quote me on it, please, but I think they patched the vulnerability, the remote code execution vulnerability that was being found in the TCP IP stack of Microsoft.
That's the IPv6 patch.
Yes, indeed.
I assume so as well.
And actually, from within the community, I don't think somebody has already been able to create a reliable exploit for that yet. It's a very difficult vulnerability to analyze. Apparently, I'm not a Windows reverse engineer expert, but from what I read online, is that it's very difficult to find a reliable way to exploit this. Even people like Marcus Hutchins or I think Chompy, but I'm not sure, were not able yet to produce a reliable proof of concept code, which is quite interesting. They were even joking about the guy or woman who found this vulnerability. How did they find it? It's so difficult. By fuzzing, you could trigger a DOS, a blue screen of that maybe, but to reliably find it in the piece of code, in the kernel code, was very difficult.
We're again at kernel level here.
And then I guess maybe for us, for this one, I have not yet sent out an emergency patch yet, because I haven't seen in the wild exploitation yet.
So again, we are there, like, was it too soon?
I guess so. Yeah. But with our endpoints, we are pretty quick on updates actually. With the Intune, I guess Intune is doing a good job there.
Yeah, you have the patch cycle, so we are really on top of that, and it does work really well. Props to Microsoft.
I remember back in the days when I first joined the company, we were not yet on Intune. Our laptops were still AD joined.
We were still using the WCS.
And it was
whatever you want to call it.
It was a shit show to keep our laptops up to date. Weren't we using SCCM for that?
Well, yeah, but SCCM in the background uses SUCS. Wow, this English, sorry, I'm not a native speaker, but it was good, but you need to manage it. It was very intensive. And then with Intune now, the patch windows are better. Also, Windows 11 or Windows 10 and Windows 11 do a really, really good job with the monthly updates. Like,
true.
One of the things I was going to say is, like, this has been the first faulty patch for endpoints, because I'm not going to talk about servers, that I've seen in years.
In a long time.
Yeah. Like, or that has a more global problem. Every patch has, sometimes when you have some software running, it will be a little bit annoying and it might break something, but like, this is the first time in years that I've seen a patch that has this kind of impact. But yeah, that's what happens. I think they were maybe a little bit too zealous if you say, like, yeah, this is on an exploit that actually is not exposed in the wild yet. But yeah, again, too fast, maybe. But maybe pulling it up, because we are like on kernel level now, the security, it's getting very technical. We are very technical. Maybe we should go a little bit up and into the security stuff that is not so technical and maybe more policy based. You might have heard.
I'm listening.
Somebody got fined. Somebody is gonna pay a lot of money.
Oh, true. Yeah, you're talking about Uber here right now. Well, yes. I don't remember all the details, so I'm gonna pull up the article here. I'll need to search for the article here, but indeed, Uber was fined for the GDPR law.
They sold their driver data.
Yes.
So the drivers, I think they sold the data, and they're gonna get fined for I'm pulling the number out of my ass here, but I think it's $420 or $410 million, which is, not something I would like to pay.
The first article I pull up here is 324 million euros.
Oh, well.
But it's very high. It's 350 USD dollars for the American listeners. I don't think we have them yet, but
Inspirations,
Well, a very good thing, and apparently not the first fine for Uber.
No, but
I diagonally read about it, and they had the first fine somewhere in 2018. They had another fine in somewhere 2020 or 2022, and now yet another one. Pretty interesting, actually. Why do they keep getting fined?
Well, it's not the first big company that gets fined because of GDPR. We have Facebook. Meta has been fined a couple times as well. I think it only shows that GDPR is still... they still need to get that ruling. They're getting some fines, but maybe not every company. And I think the bigger companies are like, we'll pay, They take the risk.
Also, a GDPR fine cannot be bigger than 4% than your yearly income or profit. One of those, but 4% for those big companies, it's payable. It hurts, but it's payable. And if it gives you some profit in the long run or short term, whatever, some just go for it.
Yeah, when GDPR got announced, I know there was a lot of media attention for it because a lot of companies were like, oh yeah, if this is gonna come, you're gonna get fined and people are gonna find you. And I don't know how many people got fined, like smaller companies. I think they're really targeting the big ones when they go in investigations. But still, I think it's very important. Can you maybe from your security background explain a little bit about GDPR and what do we need to... Or am I putting you on the spot?
Me a difficult question.
I am putting you on the spot.
I am merely an engineer. I don't do governance stuff. But in terms, I think GDPR all comes down to your data, your personal data is you. It's your property. It's your data. And if somebody else if another company is selling your data, your interest, your behavior, and gaining profit for it, that's illegal. And that's all what GDPR stands for. The fact that you're on Facebook and you're scrolling and you're liking stuff, and you give your preferences and your interests to Facebook. If Facebook is selling that to advertisement bureaus and all that kind of stuff, they get the money for it for selling your data. But actually, if you really want it to be correct, you should get the money, right?
So Facebook, the fact that they know that I like the Princess Diary movies, they're gonna put me and they're gonna sell it to advertisement companies, and I'm gonna get princess clothes and stuff. Or
you're gonna get advertisements for it, and one day you will buy it because of it. And then
I am not that weak.
We all think that, but we all are. We are all subjective to it so hard. And GDPR is kind of trying to protect us from it. And actually, it's a law that we live in Europe. It's been here for, what is it now, 6 years, 7 years, something 8 years maybe. It's actually a really good thing. In America, you can still do whatever the fuck you want with people's data. But here it's regulated, and you put certain rules in place that companies need to safeguard your data, and they cannot just sell it and give it away for their own profits. And I guess in a nutshell, that could be a very bad explanation of what GDPR is.
Maybe we should get our CISO on here. Christoph, if you're listening, this
Please
is an
don't.
invitation, because Pieter doesn't really know what GDPR is. So yeah, I was gonna say like, yeah, can we go into NIS2 then? Because if you go like the big brother on the block, NIS2, it's very actual. Or is that also putting you on the spot here?
Well, kinda. But I know that we are having now lots of audits and preparations, and we're building a roadmap with the cybersecurity department to get ready for NIS2, because NIS2 is also a law and the boring stuff that European companies are getting subjected to. But also a good thing. It makes sure that you as a company, you do your proper actions to try and keep the company secure. I'm not saying it's waterproof and it will be the holy grail for the years to come. It's still, in my own words, a stupid checklist that you want to check all the boxes to. But if you want to do it in a proper way, you can do it in a proper way. And in my opinion, it is the way to go. Every company needs to do this.
So when he's talking about checking the check boxes, he's just saying like, yeah, we're gonna create tickets for you guys, the infra team, and you guys need to solve this. That's kind of how it goes. Yeah. So we are expecting a lot of tickets, all these toolings that they run.
It's true. It's true. But okay, so and this is where the interesting dynamics come from our conversations, because as a security team and the infra team, we kind of need to work together. I am merely the auditor of the environment. I check whether we are secure, whether all the setups are good, whether all the check boxes are checked. I'm very sorry, but basically that's what it comes to. And I don't have the rights to, or the permissions to change stuff, to configure stuff the right way. I delegate it to you guys. It's called the separation of powers, I guess. You in the law, you also have these three different components.
There he goes.
And I am one of those components, and you guys are another one. So it's you. I mean, it's normal that you guys get tickets from me.
I see. He just wants to give us work. That's what it comes down to.
I don't like to work myself. That is so true.
But yeah, from our side as well, like we get requirements from security, and we need to, have some check boxes met. Oh, that was kind of ironic. But yeah, these check boxes that need to be met. But then we go to, or at least for me, like we go to the end users, and the end users are like, "Hey, this is not working. My flow is interrupted." This is a word I heard a lot. We rolled out some security measures for just IT, like just our test population, our guinea pigs, because IT people are always difficult, you know.
Especially developers. Sorry if you're listening.
So yeah, we rolled out some security features last week, and we got some like complaints about, yeah, my flow of work is interrupted now, and I used to do it like this and now it's like that. So it's really like impacting people's flow. So how do you then make the decision, or where is the line? And I think that's something we are all looking for. Like, where's the line between usability and security? Like, you want to be secure, but you don't want to be that secure, so you cannot work anymore.
And you will hear it a lot in this podcast. I guess it's always gonna come down to usability versus security, and I should put it the other way around, because security comes first in my point of view. Security
in your point of view
versus usability. Yes, we want our end users to be efficient and to be easy in their way of working, but we also want it to be secure. And I like to make comparisons to other industries here, or other topics, metaphors, let's say. I like to compare it with the automotive industry. Back in the days when you bought a car, it drove you from A to B, and it was very easy. You could drive in which state you ever wanted.
Yeah,
You
now
didn't
need
need
to
your
stop and
seatbelt.
charge.
You didn't need to check your brakes on a yearly basis. You could be drunk as fuck and you could still drive, and it was allowed. Nowadays, fast forward 20, 30, 40 years, you need to have your car yearly checked, that everything is still working. You need to have your brakes, your lights, your seat belts, your ABS system, whatever there is. You just need it all. If it's not in place, you get a fine for it if they find out. And that is what is happening now too in the IT industry. I am very sure back in the days people were like, do I really need to put on seatbelts?
But let me turn
slows
this.
my process
But
down.
let me turn this towards or against you. So now we are all changing to electric cars, right?
Yes, we are.
So you go from point A to B.
Yes.
With a diesel, you could drive 1,000 kilometers, let's say. So if you wanted to go, wanted to go on holiday, all good. Now you go on holiday. The car can only drive 400 kilometers. You need to go and charge. That's annoying. Because
Yes,
you're used to
but
driving 1,000.
But that's not caused by security. Actually, that's caused by infrastructure. How we built the motors. That is actually your field here.
Nice.
Maybe that's how we are now transitioning from physical servers to virtual servers to containers to even Kubernetes. And maybe there are some limitations, but security-wise, that's not a security issue.
I see. See, this is what you get. I walked into that. Like
this is what I do on a daily basis.
I walked straight into that one, and he turned it around because for him it's the seat belt, it's the.
And let's face it, it's true. Back in the days, people didn't like to put on seatbelts, and they were like, "Why the fuck do I need it?" And now, if you don't put on your seatbelt, there is this irritating, annoying noise that goes off. So people just put it on. And now, if you ask our generation, and I'm not implying that all the rest is really old or we are really young, but I feel like, what is our generation? Gen Z?
I think we're
Millennials?
I think we're actually on a generation gap here. I'm millennium. I'm sure for that one. For the listeners,
So
I was born in 91, so I'm definitely a millennium. But Peter is a little bit younger, so yeah.
Okay.
But I think you're still a millennium as well. You're 26 now. You're born in. Oh, this is maybe private data security. Oh, I'm sorry.
I am older than 96, but younger than 98. No, wait, it is wrong. Younger than 96, but older than 98. But and that would be GDPR compliant, because I didn't say the real date here. That's how grayish the area at GDPR is. But yeah, so what I can say is, I think from my generation then, everybody is like, yeah, of course you wear a seatbelt. Of course you don't drink and drive. But try telling that to the people that were born in the 60s and 70s. They were used to driving with a beer too many. And every time when you tell them, do you really should drive now? Didn't you drink too much? They'll be like, nah, I can still drive. I can still do this. But if you get caught by the police, you get a fine. If you do run somebody over and fuck up the situation, it's your fault. And again, in the online industry, it is the same now. We need to be a little bit more secure on that end. We need to have good password policies, have multi-factor authentication, do all those stuff, because if you don't, it will go wrong at some point, and you're at fault here.
But I think there we are touching actually in a good one. Like, for me, from a Microsoft 365 perspective, like, in the past, you would have a file share, you will have a file share, people would put their data there, and you would, as an IT team, manage that access. Now, with SharePoint, with Teams, with OneDrive, people manage their own file access, and they're responsible for their own data.
Oh, yeah, indeed.
So, for me, that is giving agency to the end user, but you also need to educate the end user, and that's where you come in, because you are the one that's going to say like, hey, this data, and we can manage it. Like technically we can manage some stuff with sensitivity labels, and we can tag data like, hey, this data is confidential, you cannot send it out of the company, or this is has some user data in there, or credit card numbers in there, so now we will tag it, and you can, when you send it out, it will say like, hey, hello, you are sending this to an external, do you really want to send this? So I think that's a limit, or a thing that is also there, but I think that's where it comes back to the user,
Yeah, and do we really want to put the user up with that responsibility? I remember a few months ago we had this SharePoint sites that people could create at the company, and they didn't know what everything was, and they would just put like, yeah, my site is public, and then everybody could see it. And then at some point there were ground workers that could see sensitive documents from HR, and it was like, ooh.
It was from their leadership, not
from their leadership. But I think there were also some documents from HR, but let's not spill the beans.
Yeah, and then let's go not to go into much detail about the company,
if you
right?
put the responsibility at the end user, you also want to make sure that they are aware of what they are responsible for, what are the implications here. And user awareness training, that's something else. That's very difficult. You need to change behavior of users, and that's super difficult.
So user awareness training. So Pieter currently is wearing a t-shirt of Hoxhunt, which who doesn't know is like a user awareness platform for phishing attacks and email security. And so user awareness there. I get those emails a couple times, and they are quite good.
Didn't you fall for one
recently? Yes, I did. Today I got one, and it was too obvious, because it said like, hey, I'm sharing you this data, and it said like a document about Hoxhunt, and I'm like, yeah, you this is too obvious.
I think that the interesting point here is that with Hoxhunt simulated phishing emails is clearly it's kind of gamified how we teach our end users, but phishing in general, you can say that, oh, this was so easy to spot. I mean, who would fall for this? Well, sure. And if you know, it's always easy to spot. But an attacker, someone with malicious intentions, only needs one person to click on the link to fall for it. And it only needs to be applicable for one. Let's say an attacker wants to phish a company, and they send out an email with a link from a Dropbox file that has been shared. We don't use Dropbox at the company.
Yeah.
So for all our company, it would be very obvious that this is not a real email. But let's say another company does uses Dropbox, then they would maybe fall prey for it. And that just shows how lucrative and opportunistic this game is for attackers.
Yeah, phishing is a numbers game, You send out 10,000. It's like online dating, You like 10,000 profiles, and you maybe match with like 5, but when those 5s, your love of your life will be in there, maybe,
It's opportunistic. I like the comparison here.
But from the other side, like as I said, I got like a Hoxhunt today. It was very obvious. But then also in the morning, I got an email from a Gmail account like, hey, I have this domain registered, and I think it might be good for you, and I will sell it to you for like $3,000.
Oh God,
click here to see. Click here to see the domain name, blah, blah.
Awesome.
So I reported it.
Of course you did.
Yeah, that's on your plate to look at that and say like, oh, this is bad.
Oops, haven't seen it. Was it a good domain?
No, it wasn't.
Funny. Well, if it works, tell me. I have tons of names to buy and to sell. Okay, well, cool conversation here. So I think it all started with the security versus usability.
Wow, yeah. Just to give some things, we have a whiteboard and we've been really nice flowing through the board, jumping left and right. But now we're kind of running out and now we need to have some kind of jump, right? Because we had the usability against security a little bit.
I guess we can close that topic indeed. I'm very sure it will come back.
Yes, because you guys are annoying.
There is still one thing I wanted to talk about because I think this is a really interesting change in the security world. Again, it doesn't concern infrastructure too much, but
next
Google
podcast
finally came out with some cookie protections. And let me clarify this a bit. So as attackers, we have been stealing credentials a lot for years to come, because with valid credentials you don't have to hack your way into the company. You can just walk into the front door, pretend to be someone, and just get in, and there is no verification on your identity whatsoever after your multi-factor authentication and all that stuff. And how we did it in the last 10 years, let's say, we tried to dump your credentials from the Windows machine. The LSAS process was being dumped because that contained your username, your password, or even your hash.
Hive.
Indeed. And that was being abused a lot. Look at tools like Mimikatz. It's been popular for years and years to come, and EDRs and antivirus products have been signaturing all these tools to catch the baddies in their act. But then when you are the baddie yourself, you can just change some words or the way you do things, and you could fly under the radar. And that has been a cat and mouse game for years and years. And I think that the protections there are quite good. You need to have quite some privileges on the system to still be able to dump credentials that way.
Guys, this means I am doing my job well. I am responsible for the endpoints.
True.
I'm gonna steal some credits here from Microsoft because they are actually doing their jobs well. But yeah, I'm taking it.
But, and here comes the but. So in the past 10 years, we've also been migrating from on-premise to the cloud.
Yeah.
So your credentials that were heavily protected on-premise with the LSAS process protected with lots of protection mechanisms in place was actually being lifted and shifted to the cloud, and now they created this whole schema on how to get authorized to access things through the browser. And what did they do? They put your passwords and your tokens to access stuff in the browsers. Well, is there any protection to dump your tokens in the browser, your cookies? No, there wasn't. It was very easy. It was very trivial for anyone who could land on a system, low privilege user, to just dump all these things. All these credential stealers and harvesters like Redline have been abusing these techniques to just dump credentials from the browser. And now with everything in the cloud, with Azure, where you manage all your endpoints and all your Active Directory stuff online, it is protected by a token in your browser. Well, that was kind of crappy. It felt like going back way
but we
a
have
lot of years.
Token validity and these kind of stuff, like a session validity on the token.
It doesn't matter if you're getting phished with somebody using the Evil Jinx framework. They would just get your token from you without you knowing. Or if you download a correct software online and you download...
We don't do that.
No, sure we don't. We don't. No, we don't do it, but other companies might. And they might get a credential stealer and their tokens would all be dumped from the browser. Then the attacker would have access to everything that the user in his browser has access to. That includes your Intune management platform. That includes your Entra ID. That includes everything that you do online, even your SIEM if it is online and all that stuff, your EDR. And so attackers have been focusing on that technique quite a lot the last few years, hence why Evil Jinx has been built and all that stuff. But now Google is finally creating protections against it. So what they did is whenever you start Google now, Google Chrome I should say, or any Chromium based browser.
Edge, yes.
Yes, Edge too. Yes, because Edge is a very good browser.
That sounded sarcastic. I don't know. Edge is a really good browser. I use it daily.
I don't. I use Brave because you gotta be brave. But to go back on topic here.
Sorry.
It actually spawns the Google process, the Google Chrome process, as in the system level integrity, and that process is being used to read your local storage of where your cookies are saved. And if I, as an attacker, land up on your computer and I try to dump your credentials from just reading out the database file that contains your cookies, it doesn't work anymore because I am not Chrome and I am not in the system level of permissions. So as an attacker, in order to dump those credentials, you need to first escalate your privileges, get system level, and then you will be able to impersonate the Google process and dump the credentials. But it's a whole new set of steps, and it's a whole new era for protecting your tokens.
But yeah, let's talk again about the cat and mouse. They will probably get to that level, system level.
Of course.
What's next? Kernel level?
Maybe.
Are we back to Crowdstrike now? No.
Oh god, the circle is round now. Well, probably yes, but in order to get to the kernel level, then you count on your EDR again to catch the threads that want to go in there, that want to escalate their privileges. And this actually shows that the whole ecosystem in security, all the layers you want to install, you want to have them installed. You need to have them all, because only that way you can hope to stop an attacker somewhere in their flow, because they need to go from A to Z through a whole loop of stages to get through their cheese, let's say, to get what they want. But if you can stop them at some level, you stop the whole attack chain. And that's where you want to go. And this was from Google a very nice initiative to get there. And this is something that I really like. Let's continue on this a bit. Something that I've been looking into also. Token replay, for example. Let's say I am an attacker. I phished the global administrator of a company, and I now have his token to access their Entra ID management platform.
Yes.
Why am I able to replay the token? Isn't Entra ID, isn't Microsoft somehow seeing that this token which has already been authorized to access certain stuff, already been authenticated to access certain resources? It is now being used from a different place, from a different computer, from a different IP address. Why isn't there another identity check on this token?
Well, it will trigger the risky sign in Entra ID for sure, because you're at one place or one IP and then the other IP. So it will trigger the sign in, definitely. I don't think it will the token replaying, I don't think that will be a case, but it will definitely trigger a notification in security like, hey, you were in, I don't know, Belgium first, and now all of a sudden you are in, I don't know, China. Then it will definitely know, like, hey, what's up here?
And what if the guy from China is using a VPN and makes it looks like you're logging in from Belgium?
Smart guy.
Smart guy indeed, but still, Microsoft should be able to see that this token is being replayed. It's not being used from the same system, from the same browser. I think you could all finger point this type of stuff and see that it is being used from a different system. You should be. And I think, and now we're totally going off topic here, but I think that the YA4 fingerprinting, have you ever heard from that?
No, please explain.
It's gonna be a solution for it. So YA4 fingerprinting is kind of a way to fingerprint your TCP handshake, your connection, but I guess it happens at layer 4 somewhere, and it can track a lot of stuff.
So now we're going very technical. So layer 4 is which layer exactly, and what is on there?
No, now you're.
So Peter used to also be into networking a lot, but apparently he forgot everything when he went full time back to security. He used to actually be a member of our infra team for networking.
For 8 months.
For 8 months, but now he went back to security
full time. Layer 4, I guess.
So it's probably the layer where you have the handshake coming, so it does a SYN, and then you have the ACK, which is the acknowledgement of the handshake, and then you have another SYN and ACK in the different direction.
Yes.
So yeah, basically you can see it as like a guy comes into the or the guy meets someone and says like, "Hey, I am Nick," and the guy says, "Hey, Nick, I am Pieter." And then you say like, "Hi, Pieter." That's kind of the handshake. It's completed, and everybody knows who is who, and we're good to go.
And the way you explain this, nicely explained by the way in human language how a TCP handshake works. That was YA3 fingerprinting. With the YA4, it goes even further, and all the communication that we do, we encrypt it. So we say, "Hi, I am Nick. Hi, I am Pieter. I acknowledge you. Please send your message." Before sending the real communication, we do some kind of key exchange to decide on the cipher that we will use and how we will encrypt our traffic so that other guys who are in between our traffic cannot read what we are saying to each other.
So now we will have a magic keyword to encrypt our communication.
Indeed, and without the magic keyword, we would not be able to understand each other.
So now we will have the little speakeasy corner where we go like, what's the passcode?
Something like that. But the way that every type of software and hardware do this and make this communication is unique. And if you fingerprint it, you can actually, people are creating big ass databases out of all this data, and you can actually see what kind of browser is being used to access your website, what kind of network region is the traffic coming from. Are you using proxies? Are you using VPNs? All this type of stuff can be seen from it. And with that technology, it can be possible to identify whenever a token replay is in place. And that would defend.
But do you want to limit that? Because I'm just, again, we are very technical people, we are IT people, and I'm going now to another business region, marketing. Marketing wants to know who is accessing their website and how they're accessing their website.
Sure, and let's do that. We can do it, but then we need to make sure that we do it in a safe and secure way, obviously.
Okay, but yeah, it's layer 4 transport layer, so it's not going to impact that probably. So we are already 54 minutes in.
54, god damn
You
it.
have been talking a lot. It's a very security focused first episode. It's kind of my fault. I didn't got the nice and big topics. I think, yeah, security is always moving. So, but I bet your throat's a little bit dry. You want something to
I do.
to drink, and that's the hook of our episode, right? So I will give Peter the opportunity to walk to his fridge while I'll try to fill these. Don't go too slow, because I need to fill this gap, you know.
Explain the name a bit, maybe.
Yes, so IT on Tap. We have been workshopping some names, of course, and IT on Tap landed because we have this hook in the episode. We needed something to stand out, and we decided to go for some beers because we both like beer. Peter has an Untapped, which is like a beer app that he wants to fill in and have these all things connected. And I like some beers. I'm not the Untapped fan. I'm more of a, well, if it comes to collecting stuff, I'm more of a whiskey guy. But I do enjoy a good beer. And it was a good opportunity for me to also get to know some new beers. So, Peter, what do you have for us today? I think you're going to have to bring out some good German pronunciation, because I see some umlauten, which is definitely something German.
It is a German beer today, brought to us by my housemate. Actually, he went on holidays to Germany. This is still GDPR compliant, by the way, because I didn't say when and where exactly in Germany. But it's called Schöferhofer. I guess I pronounced it right. I hope so.
If any German listeners, please correct him.
Feel free.
You can find him somewhere on Twitter, Instagram, whatever.
It's supposed to be wheat beer, white beer.
White beer, yes.
So yeah, I have no idea what to expect, honestly.
Well, only one way to find out, right? Let's open it up and have a taste.
Indeed.
Let me.
Oh, sounds good. All right. Well,
so it's a canned
cheers.
beer. Let's have a cheers. Cheers.
Oh yeah. This has a kind of a special taste to it, but it's definitely white beer.
Oh yeah, it gave me some chills.
Well, so I should also untap this.
Of course, yeah, the administrative work needs to happen. So yeah, it's quite a hot day today. Like it's 30 degrees Celsius, so a good cold beer definitely helps. It has a. Yeah, it's not your normal pills, though. It's like a 5% alcohol beer. Has really the white beer kind of taste. I would say like what's the really famous Belgium one? The white beer.
Hoegaarden,
yes,
Hoegaarden,
that kind of taste. I do feel like it has.
I must say, in my younger years, and when I was still really young, because I'm still young, I didn't like the white beer at all. It was too weak to me, the taste. But honestly, by growing a bit older, and especially on these hot days, you can really enjoy a white beer. It's refreshing.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think it does have that peculiar taste, you know, like
it's
definitely
a bit fruity, right?
Yeah, and like the aftertaste is quite. Oh, he's looking up some tasting notes, or what are you doing there?
I am actually making my untapped.
Maybe we should try to find some tasting notes, reviews. I don't know if that.
I have one.
There we go.
So it is light-bodied. It is sweet, fruity. You could really.
I do get that, yeah.
But the kind of fruit that comes out the most, according to Untapped, by the way, is banana.
Banana. Okay, then I need to get with that knowledge, I need to get a second, another taste here. I'm not really having it. What's your opinion?
I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too far for it, but in the aftertaste, a bit maybe.
Well, I'm not a big banana fan. Like, yeah. So I don't know. It's definitely.
I'm not sure yet what the rating will be, but I can always adjust it afterwards. Nice one.
Do we want to rate this beer? Like, it's a first one, so let's... It's kind of hard, right? Because we don't know which other beers we'll have on the podcast.
Yeah, and the issue with rating beers is that, well, we're Belgians, so all our beers are really good. And if you drink beers from foreign countries, I mean, it can be good, but it will never be Belgian good.
It will be surprising, and I think that's the thing. Like, we're used to, well, let's say the quality of beer here is quite good, but I've also had some really surprising beers. I'm just thinking about like Czech microbrewery beers. They're really surprising, really, like sometimes you get something that you think like, oh, wow, I didn't expect this. And for this one, it is what I expected of a white beer. But it's a good starter. If I would rate this, I would give it a 6.
But the ratings go on 5, so a 3.
Oh, are we gonna do it?
5.
Okay, we're gonna do it on 5. See,
Yes.
we didn't talk about this before we started this, so we'll do it on 5. So if it's a 6, then it's like a 3. Yeah.
I gave it a 2.5 right now, but I can still change it, and probably will still change it.
But it's a good starter. Are there any beers that we should try? Like, let us know. We don't have any social media yet. We should probably create that, but we are really, really bad at planning.
Probably, yes. I do have a Twitter account, but if you're interested in it, you'll just need to ask it to the, something that we will announce in future episodes.
Wow, okay. We're leaving it on the cliffhanger, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, indeed. I guess with that we can round up, right?
Yes, I think this was our first episode. If you have any, we are happy to have you and listening, and we will be back in September, end of September. We will make this like a monthly occurrence. So
Did we already decide on doing it monthly? Or
we did.
Okay.
Wow, he's actually making us look bad here, but we did decide on a monthly thing. We might actually do it faster, but I think a monthly thing is nice. Like every month we have some news to talk about, like we just did now. We will, and give us time to get some beers,
Find a new beer indeed.
But okay, on that note, we will close it down.
Yes.
This was our first episode of IT Untapped. I hope you liked it, and we will see you in September.
Goodbye.